Okay, so I will speak in English, and if you will have any questions or I will be mumbling or you will need to hear it again, you can ask me and I will repeat. So my topic is customers hit the jackpot with Sitecore portal powered by Coveo Enterprise Search. So I will tell about the Honeywell and implementation for the Honeywell company. Honeywell is a large enterprise and they invested lots of money into the Coveo search. So they are trying to move the web systems and other systems to the Coveo search provider. So let's get acquainted. Yeah, I'm originally from Belarus. I'm working in at BrainJokes Atlanta, Georgia right now. This photo was done 2 years ago when I've been living in Minsk, so I'm a little bit skinnier here. Right now, after 2 years, yeah, I moved to Atlanta 2 years ago, and I have 10 years of experience in web development and 6 years in Sitecore CMS. I'm certified Coveo developer, and our company has the largest number of Coveo certified developers, and we also try to implement Coveo solutions in partnership with Honeywell and other clients which use Coveo. Okay, coming back. Okay, let's move back to agenda. I already did introduction. I will speak about the challenges which BrainJokes and Honeywell faced during the implementation of the project. The project was related to aerospace digital strategy unit. So Honeywell has 4 business strategy units, and aerospace does goods, products, it produces products and services for aircrafts. Then I will cover Coveo best practices. That's one of the biggest parts. I will try to answer the questions which were raised before. I will speak a little bit about Coveo and FXM. That was implementation which I participated in. Then Coveo data sources. That's also major part of my presentation, and I will dive a little bit deeper into the web crawling, DB crawling, and Salesforce crawling. PowerShell user sync, yeah, I'll devote some time to that as well. Okay, so Honeywell Aerospace has lots of documents which we needed to index. For the production instance, we had more than 2 million of documents from different data sources, which I will cover later. Then we had sophisticated security model because of the number of registered users, 130,000. There were tons of roles. Our main goal was to separate search results and documents for different kinds of users with different roles. Okay, then access from all environments. As environments are secure, we had production, we had QA environments, but anyway, it was hard to access all the data sources. So we made some workarounds to test our components. And the last challenge was crawling time and performance. Yeah, I will speak about it later as well. So currently, I think somebody asked about the performance. We have search results page. I will show it later. It has infinite scroll, and we haven't experienced any issues with performance so far. So it's really smooth, and when you're scrolling, it gets search results in some batches, in some portions, and I think performance is not an issue for Coveo at all. Crawling time, It depends. I will tell about number of documents we have and about security hash, which exist. And yeah, we'll touch this topic later. Okay. Okay, Coveo best practices. So I have PowerPoint. I have presentation, and I will switch between presentation and screenshots. So I've chosen the offline mode just to make it not independent of the internet and other, to make it more stable. So Coveo best practices which were used in our project, they are well documented. So you can find information, detailed information about them in the internet, and but for those who has never done a project with Coveo, it will be interesting to get acquainted with them. So first one is duplicating the view and customizing for your needs. Artem already told about it, right? So usually, if you are speaking about MVC Razor View, you're making a duplicate of the search component. Duplicate of search component, and you can change the Razor View based on your needs. Okay, I will show you. Okay, I'll switch to this window. MySpaceHoneywell.com, that's a production live website. It has search box, and by clicking, and we are going to the search results page. And as you see, it's rather trivial. It uses search results component, and it uses facets component. Also, we have some sorting, some basic things which Coveo provides out of the box. I think there was another question from Nikita, right, about the different templates, different search results. For example, if I will filter by parts and repairs, you will see that the search results template is completely different. So it displays just title, part number, and like service center allocation, right? And this can be achieved by customizing the view. I will switch between screenshots, which I have. So this is this one. I hope. Okay. I will tell verbally. So when you are customizing Razor View, you are using underscore template, and based on the field value, for example, source type, or based on filter value, for example, solution type, you are showing different markup, different HTML, and it will be displayed differently. As Artem already told, it has a drawbacks because after the next upgrade, you will need to track what was changed, which properties were added, in which place you need to add them, and I don't know, any changes to Razor views, which were you need to apply them to your customized view. That's main drawback from my point. What else? From the cool features, like when you are a developer, you need to see what is the downloaded, how content is filtered, and then to make it happen, you can use developer tools of Chrome. So any filter makes a request, and you can see in the headers what is sent and how query is formed. First one, sorry. Huh?
What is the return, your response?
In the response, you will see a total count, of search results, and here in the preview, it has the better view. So JSON will be parsed, and you will see the results. The preview, and this is in the form data. There is a query which is sent, and you can see which language was used, versions, and in the query itself, you see how it's filtered by which templates. And I think that for developer, it's like the main debug point. Another one, which I found useful. Let's go to the search results and make something like this. So if you want to see the detail of the document in the search results, you can make an Alt double click, and you can see all the fields and all the system information which is related to this document. For example, ranking, score, and that is related to the system, like to which index it belongs, etc. Okay, I will come back to my presentation. Underscore and razor templates we already discussed. That's used to customize search result. Useful helpers for underscore and razor. I'm not able to find the screenshot, but it's that's underscore helpers which is used for highlighting the search results, highlighting the stream text, and .NET helpers which used to translate Coveo field name, which like the name of the field in the Sitecore to the Coveo field name, because Coveo behind the scenes it stores the field with some hash on the end. Okay, then Coveo project specific config file and Coveo diagnostic page and upgrading SES. So upgrading SES is really important because we are getting updates. Coveo produces them once per month, and it's really important for on-premises instances, because for Coveo, I assume it's updated automatically. Coveo diagnostic page is I find it useful as well. It shows information about the services which are running for the Sitecore instance, about like basic information about Coveo Sitecore version and which configuration files are used, which configuration files are disabled, and there is also a log viewer which is much better than exists in the Sitecore by default. Okay, and the last one, Coveo project specific config file. Coveo extends the standard index configuration, so it has some additional sections, but most of the sections inherit the standard ones. And for those things, I have a screenshot. Okay, so I have few customizations which are usually done when you are making crawling of the local Sitecore instance of the pages. For example, Coveo post item processing pipeline can be customized, and the HTML content in body, whatever with request processor can be added, and it will tell to Coveo which parts of the pages to index and which parts, like where to start indexing and where to stop indexing. So these sections, begin no index and end no index, they needs to be added to the views itself, and that's how you will eliminate unnecessary content which is not needed, like copyright, for example, or something in the header components which shouldn't exist. Then next one. In our project, we had also no index field for each item in the Sitecore, so you can choose whether to index item or not. To make it work, we customized Coveo inbound filter pipeline and added a processor which analyzed the value of the field no index and included or excluded the item from indexing. Also, I should mention that when we are speaking about indexing of Sitecore items, they are usually stored in the indexes which are mapped to the databases, the same as Sitecore has, Sitecore Master Web Core Index. So Coveo has the same default index names, and if you want some fields used as facet or filter or make it sortable, you need to explicitly define it in the configuration. So I don't have access to my virtual machine with the code, with the configuration file, but if you have experience with the field definition and adding field by name, right, when you are specifying the name of the field in the Sitecore, then Coveo extends this definition, and you can specify these attributes, whether this field participates in the sorting or not, and whether this field can be used in facets, and you can filter by this field. Okay. I have lots of things to explain and show, so let's switch to the next one. Oh, that was demo. That was I showed few configs. Coveo plus FXM. It brought some issues in our project. FXM technology, it provides the ability to export, for example, header and footer to external website. It can be Sitecore website, it can be non-Sitecore website. So, and it also provides ability to track analytics. So we had about 40 external websites where we need to export header and footer, and header had search component. So first we had jQuery conflicts, and it was partly solved with the required JS module loader, which we applied later. And the second thing which we had was related to Coveo search resources component. So each time you are using search results page or search list component, you need to include Coveo resource component. Coveo resource component is a bunch of JavaScript files which included into the page. So problem with Coveo search resource component was we needed to make the path as absolute to include the host names, because otherwise external websites do not know where to download the assets and styles and JavaScript files from. Okay, next. There is no demo. Okay, this is if you want to make a good picture for Twitter, you can do it right now. So this is the most beautiful diagram which we have Coveo data sources. In this project, we are using three kinds of connector. First one was web connector. We were crawling external marketing website. Second kind of connector was SQL connector that was SQL data sources stored in Azure. You see them here, and Salesforce connector. It was that was like the biggest data source of data. We were crawling Salesforce cases and some KB articles. And there is another part related to our security, enhanced security model. We needed to make a PowerShell synchronization to provide access for different users to different documents. Okay, so next one. Security cache. Security cache is important thing which you need to concern if you have security applied, whether it's applied with Sitecore or with some external data source. Security cache is a repository with the mapping between user roles and entities in the index. So yeah, initially it's created for the better performance. It plays its role. It automatically updates after changing to users and roles. I know that Coveo had recently fixed performance issue with the automatic update of security cache. So, for example, when you are adding a role to a user, there is some handler which updates security cache. When we started implementation, it worked terribly slow. Then it was improved. Okay, we have full security cache refresh triggered after PowerShell Salesforce import. So that's our custom piece of code customizations for this project. We need to do that because of insane amount of roles for this project and users as well. And as you see, refresh takes 4 hours for 130,000 users. And yeah, this is line update security cache. It can be used to update all or update some certain user or role. Okay, so web crawling of external website. It is environment specific. It's everybody can understand. So for production, we are crawling production website, and for QA, we are crawling QA version of the website. There is also filtering to exclude parts of the website. I think that I have a screenshot for that. Sure. Okay, this one. I didn't realize that I have a third column. So when we were crawling external website, you're simply adding inclusion filter and you're adding exclusion wildcard filter. For example, we didn't need to crawl Portuguese and Chinese content, right? Okay. Post-conversion script to extract categories of external pages. Yeah, we faced with the challenge when we needed to tag pages somehow. To make it happen, we asked developers from another team, which were responsible for that external marketing website, to add a hidden input, which we processed during the crawling for each document. I will show how it was done. Post-conversion script for the web source looks like this. So you are parsing HTML, which came from the page, and you are extracting the values and setting the document info field value. Okay. Next one. Demo of web crawler. Okay. Partly I displayed you the filter and I displayed you post-conversion script. So let's move further to the next one. We have other things to discuss. Web crawling of Sitecore items. This is an architecture which is used for the crawling of the Sitecore items. It works for on-premises version. On-premises, when you are having Sitecore installed locally. When you have Sitecore installed locally, you are installing some package on the Sitecore. There should be Coveo services running on the instance, and there should be RabbitMQ messaging service running as well. So RabbitMQ accumulates all the items, Sitecore items which were changed, and then on some schedule, Coveo does crawling, right, and saves all the documents in the index. So good thing about the web crawling of Sitecore items is that security provider for Sitecore is applied automatically, right? So we have search results page which I demonstrated, right? And besides that, we have lots of document list, and yeah, here we go. This is a screenshot of the document. The data source for this document list is media library, so you can extend your media item somehow with years and other properties, and or structure it somehow and apply Sitecore security, and it will be work out of the box with Coveo. So Coveo will provide a personalized view for the document list. Okay, next one. No index field of the item. I already discussed that. If you can write your own processor to include or exclude items from indexing. Yeah, and the last one, begin and no index, it was discussed as well. It used to exclude HTML parts from the crawling and separating it into the terms. Okay. We have two more data sources to discuss. That's database web crawling and Salesforce web crawling. On the screenshot, you can see how some basic setting of the database source, how it's done. It's also, I grabbed it from the internet, so probably it's a little bit outdated. But in general, you are specifying the connection string, and you are providing XML config file which will show you how to fetch data and how to map it. Permissions through post-conversion script, they can be applied per document. I will show it as well, and a schedule as well. Schedule of database index refresh. It depends on your needs. There are three kinds. They are described in the API. There is incremental refresh, full index rebuild, and something else. And I don't remember. Okay. Demo, right? So I'm glad that we found few screenshots. One is about web crawling And this example of of underscore templates, you see row ID source type online ordering. You can see one kind of results, right? For database search results, you can specify based on the field value. For example, if you have field source type equal DB or like other database entity, you can specify it here and provide HTML, right? Which will be styled and it will display. So this is highlight stream text. It's used to display highlights and looks pretty easy, right? So the same template, which is so when you are customizing the view, for example, search results view, you're customizing it for all kinds of results, for web results, for database results, for any results which come from any data source. So this is example from our QA instance, as it's not real production level data. And you see that it has Sitecore search provider and it has external data source collections, aerospace web pages related to the external marketing website which we are crawling, and others are related to the databases and Salesforce. Okay, last one. This screenshot, it describes XML config file which is used to fetch data from the database. Also, I think you see that there is a select statement and another important attribute which can be used, incremental refresh field name, last update date. So the way Coveo makes a rebuild and refresh of the index, you can provide a field name which can define whether the document was changed or not, and it will be automatically crawled the next time a refresh is triggered. Then you see fields mapping, for example, URL to some external website, title, body, and other fields can be mapped as well. Body, that's like how you see like this is example of the XML config file for the orders, statuses, and its entities. And I think I have also post-conversion script. This is script written in JScript as well, and for database entities and Salesforce data sources, we are using similar post-conversion script. So it works on each document, and in our case it extracts field value CRM ID from the database column, then makes some basic cleanup, and then we are adding our custom prefix which is stored in the Sitecore. So we have such AD SBL role, and we set for this document that this role can read this document. So that's kind of post-conversion script which we use for DB and Salesforce. I wouldn't show the same thing for Salesforce because it's almost similar. Salesforce crawling, it has two configuration files and objects to get and mapping file. Then I'll make a demo and we'll display those files later. Security and authentication provider, that's That's just fields which you need to specify to access Salesforce. Post-conversion script, which we created, it did the same trick for us. Okay, switching to Visual Studio and Visual Code. This is objects to get. For Salesforce data source, it describes main objects, fields, and relationships between them. That's objects which are crawled from the, which are pulled from the Salesforce. And second XML file which needs to be provided, it makes a mapping between the Salesforce field and the Coveo field. As we are not like specialists in all kinds of mapping, so like for example, Coveo helped us a lot to make the right XML config files, but you can see that it's configurable. It's rather simple and it's clear. You can see the clear mapping between Salesforce and Coveo fields. Here, yeah, post-conversion is the same. Okay, that's more or less it. You can ask questions. I can give you. I'll try to find something which was not demonstrated. Artem already showed. This is our example of search results list, and Artem showed that almost all the settings are stored in the component fragments. So we have the filter expression rules, which filters which kind of data sources needs to be pulled. Then we have some boost expression to show results from the Sitecore on the top of the list. What else? That's kind of customizations we have.
Okay, so thanks Yury for your demo. Any questions?
Yes. Maybe I have missed. По-русски, хорошо. Значит, где настраивается security для пользователей? Какие пользователи могут видеть какие документы?
Хорошо. В общем, security, во-первых, нужно сказать, что для security настраивается, security обязательно должна быть настроена для документа, либо на уровне data source, да, то есть если мы настраиваем security для Sitecore документов, мы должны, и этот ресурс является публичным, да, допустим, все страницы Sitecore, публичная версия сайта, да, доступна, должна участвовать в результатах поисковой отдачи, то нужно, допустим, добавить такую, там, не знаю, пользователь Sitecore Everyone, да, или роль должна быть определена на уровне data source. То есть в on-premises, да, есть такая же админка, как и в клауде, где есть своя категория security, которая может быть настроена. Потом, естественно, то же самое, то есть смотри, вот, например, для дата-сорсов, которые у нас были засекьюрены, да, для которых мы применяли post-conversion script, вот, мы там ничего не указывали, то есть там было пусто, допустим, в ролях, знаешь, допустим, там на странице security для этого ресурса ничего не было проставлено, но зато каждый post-conversion script, который выполнялся после индексирования документа, вот, он устанавливал для этого документа security. Да. Да, Sitecore. Ну, то, что ты используешь Sitecore компоненты, Sitecore Security модель, и должен, грубо говоря, на документ навесить какой-то Sitecore роль или пользователя, который имеет доступ к нему.
Какой edition Coveo вы использовали?
On-premises, Enterprise. Я думаю,
Enterprise,
да.
да?
Ну, мы будем апгрейдить до клауда. По сути, там для Hannibal это не критично.
А есть ли информация, что из себя представляет Coveo изнутри? То есть какие поисковые движки, какие сервисы, как Native, или они все сами писали? Вот какие-то open-source решения они внутри себя использовали для построения своей платформы? Или это все закрытая информация?
Ну, у меня только есть вот слайд по поводу архитектуры. Это очень упрощенный вид, как Coveo кроулит Sitecore айтемы, да? Индексирует Sitecore айтемы. То есть вот это на стороне Sitecore есть Search Provider, и, наверное, при срабатывании какого-то там, не знаю, item save, да, происходит передача в RabbitMQ всего айтема или там всех филдов. Да. Я думаю, что, ну, то есть, насколько я знаю, насколько я могу предполагать, это там сервисы, которые работают с определенной периодичностью. Они, допустим, опрашивают там RabbitMQ там, каждые 5 минут, допустим, и вытягивают оттуда данные обновленные. Ну, плюс, подождите, сам индекс, он должен еще работать и обновляться по какой-то стратегии, да, то есть, например, если стандартная Sitecore стратегия, которая должна обновить индекс после паблишинга, после репаблишинга применена, то это должно немедленно обновляться. Ну, плюс, как бы, вы можете обновить отдельный документ, заребилдить отдельный айтем, он тоже должен немедленно, ну, там, с каким-то задержкой появиться в индексе. Допустим, для database, да. Для DB, для баз данных, для Salesforce у нас есть разные виды рефреша, да, о которых я говорил. Я не знаю, у меня есть... У меня есть небольшой abstract, небольшой конспект, который я смотрел. Наверное, вот это вот что вы спрашиваете.
Нет, честно говоря, спрашивали, на каких технологиях сам Coveo построен. Вот это,
Допустим, Elasticsearch, да, под свой имеет Lucent в качестве реализации open-source движок, да? То есть Coveo, это они сами все написали или используют какие-то open-source?
Хороший вопрос, можно где-нибудь посмотреть, почитать. Не знаю, не в курсе, да, не в курсе. Не, просто вот хотел рассказать по поводу этих разных видов рефреш, и, ну, это, наверное, не тот вопрос, да, то есть инкрементальный, full, rebuild, тот, который мы делаем. Угу.
Еще вопрос?
По поводу перформанса, ты упомянул, что rebuild, допустим, юзеров security ролей занимает 4 часа, а что насчет теоретического полного ребилда, допустим, Salesforce или кроулинга external сайтов, сколько это занимает по времени?
Я точно не располагаю информацией по поводу веба, да, по поводу внешнего сайта, он зависит, наверное, от размера, от количества страниц и так далее, и от скорости отдачи этих страниц. Вот. По поводу Salesforce, там тоже у нас была такая нестандартная проблема. Нам нужно было из Salesforce вытянуть роли, да, роли пользователей, потому что каждый документ Salesforce, он, допустим, там отвечает, показывается для определенной роли. Вот. И для этого мы прошли три этапа. Первый — это мы использовали сначала enterprise сервисы Salesforce и пытались там в рантайме вытянуть для пользователя, там, какими ролями он обладает. Второе, что мы сделали, написали, допустим, попросили Salesforce команду, чтобы они нам создали сервис, который выдает для определенной группы ну не группы, а порции пользователей. Для 1000 пользователей он выдавал, допустим, все роли, которые им присущи. Вот, и мы написали ее в .NET, и это уже была синхронизация. То есть это было не рантайм, а синхронизация. Ну, и она работала для 130 тысяч, приемлемо где-то в течение часа все это синхронизировалось, то есть для ночи это было нормально, как scheduled task, да, как scheduled job. Вот. Но в конце концов мы перешли на PowerShell скрипт, потому что PowerShell с PowerShell Extensions, он немного более оптимизирован, и там в 2 раза быстрее был прирост производительности. То есть в 2 раза быстрее у нас за полчаса сейчас все там, 130 тысяч пользователей, все их роли обновляются. И это нужно делать ежедневно, допустим, потому что пользователь.
Вот в Люсене проблема в том, что когда ты изменяешь документ, приходит ситуация, когда ты там, через месяц, через день, через 2 должен ребилд делать индекса. Как это реализовано в Coveo? То есть как долго я могу вносить изменения в индекс, чтобы он постоянно был максимально производителен? То есть в каком случае я могу, то есть какие случаи вынудят меня сделать полный ребилд всей базы данных? Ну, индекса точнее.
Окей, сейчас, подождите, я посмотрю тогда сюда. То есть у нас, допустим, полный ребилд мы делаем 1 раз в течение недели, да, и как вот, как это
Так это требование Coveo или это просто…
Для всех индексов, да, для всех индексов. То есть вот этот ребилд, он является самой трудозатратной операцией, вот она, то есть он делает полную очистку индекса, там все перестраивает с нуля, да.
А если мы не будем, если, допустим, мы месяц будем держать индекс без ребилда, то есть он как-то потеряет производительность или что?
Ну да, он будет больше, как минимум больше. То есть, например, удаленные, смененные айтемы, там будет он просто будет вырастать в размере, да.
Спасибо.
Но по сути вот инкрементные индексы и полный ребилд, они уже будут учитывать, что какие документы, какие айтемы добавлялись, удалялись, изменялись на основе и какие пермишины были к ним применены. То есть он будет работать. То есть индекс будет показывать последние данные.
Может быть, последний вопрос у кого-то, если есть? Нет? Ну, спасибо большое, Юра.
Спасибо большое.